What a switch! Is that really the joke I'm starting this off with? That was terrible. Hello everyone, it's me, Aaron, Professor Thorgy, your guide to all things geeky, and welcome to another episode of Game Room, the show on this channel where we just geek out about video games, and I am recording this the morning right after the big Nintendo Switch Treehouse, in which they came out, revealed many new games for this console, told us exactly what it could do, gave us the price point, gave us so many details on it. Now, I'm just going to give you my reaction to everything that I saw last night. However, I do have to point this out, Nintendo isn't playing around with this. Nintendo has more treehouses planned non-stop. There is one literally going on right now as I am recording this. A bunch of new information just dropped about the Street Fighter 2 remake that's going to be on there. I can't even talk about that. Nintendo wants to get as much Switch hype in your face before the launch date on March 3rd. March 3rd, I seriously can't believe that this thing is like a month and a half away. That's one of the things I love about Nintendo. Nintendo will keep stuff secret up until the latest point that they can talk about. I am really hoping that there are going to be several games available for the Nintendo Switch that we don't even know about yet. That like on March 2nd they're going to go, oh, and by the way, when you go to the store tomorrow to pick up your Nintendo Switch, check out these 5 new launch titles that we didn't say anything about. Okay, this conference started off with them just talking about what the Switch was capable of. All the different ways that you could play, which was impressive, but in all honesty, we had kind of figured all this out on our own from that initial trailer. It was good to finally get them to come out and go, yeah, everything that you thought this could do, it can do. You can play with the controller like this. You can play with just one Joy controller. You can play with both Joy controllers. You can play with the Joy controllers just sprawled out on the couch. I love that they actually pulled out a couch to show you that, hey, when you're in the middle of just a pizza sad coma and it's like, oh, I don't even want to move right now, you can still just sit there with the 2 Joy controllers like this. It's really aiming a controller at my demographic, at the demographic of people who are just too tired to actually be focused on video games. But they revealed a lot more information about. They revealed how amiibos are going to work out, which I love that they brought out a Breath of the Wild amiibo and didn't even mention it. It was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's just this random amiibo that I happened to grab. Just like, did you just show off a brand new amiibo and you're not even going to talk about it? That's how big the Switch is. The amiibos are not taking a back seat to this. Although they are still going to have amiibos because holy cow, is that a money-making franchise for Nintendo. But they also talked about how it can have sensors on the front so you can play rock, paper, scissors with it, which is kind of weird because I can kind of play rock, paper, scissors with my own hands. And then it showed, hey, the sound in here can actually mimic the sound of holding a glass of water. About damn time we got a controller that could do that. Yeah! I have no idea why I need a controller to be able to do that, but here's the thing. Rather than looking at that and being like, what's the freaking point of that? I looked at it and went, Nintendo's gonna come up with something that we can do with that. They're gonna come up with a game that's based entirely around the idea of having a controller that makes noises. So, good on you, Nintendo! But the best piece of news from this little opening was that the price of this game is going to be $2.99. Now the reason I am so excited about this is because about a week ago it was semi-leaked. Someone broke into the code over at Nintendo and found $399.99 in a description of the Switch, and they were like, oh, it's been leaked now, it's going to cost $400. And when that leaked, Nintendo stocks started to drop because everybody was like, you can't come out here with a $400 console when PlayStation and Xbox are already making theirs less than that. That's insane. This isn't going to work. So when they came in here and said that was only going to be $300, it was like, oh, well, that's something that can compete. I have yet to check Nintendo stock prices this morning, but I really hope all those people who jumped ship at that weird leak rumor are now going, oh god, what did I do? I threw away all this right before it started making money. But all that is the technical stuff. All that is fascinating, but we are here for games. That is the thing that Nintendo has had the biggest problem with over its past 2 consoles, is that they have not gotten people to make games for them. You can have all the fun little gimmicks for your consoles that you want. At the end of the day, what matters is whether or not you can get those third parties to sign on the line that is dotted. You need to get people to make games for your console. So they finally came out and started revealing some games for this console. And the first game that they talked about was 1-2 Switch. Okay. Nintendo. Listen, this is a fun, free game to show off what your system can do, right? This is going to be like Wii Sports where it's free with the console because, listen man, Nintendo, I'm going to give you some props here. I love you guys. You guys helped practically raise me. I am in your corner on this, but I applaud you for wanting to bring party games back. I applaud you for wanting to make a game that will get people to bring the Switch over to a friend's house and get them to play party games. And I'll admit, I started getting really intrigued when you started going, oh, this is going to be a game where you don't look at the TV, you look at your friends. I was like, okay, alright, that's pretty new. That's pretty cool. Oh, and it's encouraging interaction with people. Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds nice. This ain't what you opened the conference with. Here's the thing. You want to bring party games back? Awesome. Way to go. I applaud you for that. Here's the problem though. I don't think someone told you party games are already back. We got Quiplash, we got Drawful, we got Murder Party, we got the entire Jackbox collections, which they keep coming out with new ones every single year, just loaded with fun party games, and you can play them on your phone, so you don't even have to bring your console somewhere. You just have to have one person who has the game, and then everybody else just whips out their phone. Heck, even if you don't have the console, I got Heads Up on my phone. You just need the phone for that. We don't need you to come in here and go, oh, here's a fun party game that you can bring your console with. It's like the fun party game is pointing at your friend quickly or pretending like you have paddle balls. Oh, dude. Oh, brother. Compared to all the other party games I just mentioned, this one doesn't sound like it can compete at all. I mean, even if you wanted to make a motion controller party game, there's Johann Sebastian Joust, which encourages slapping and kicking your friends in the nuts.
This is Fight Club for video game assholes. Ah! What the f***?
Did I get you the balls?
Right in the nard.
Did I get you the balls?
You got to forfeit.
So sorry.
You got to forfeit. You kicked Grant right in the nuts, man.
I'm so sorry, dude.
You win that one. You win it, Grant.
I'm so sorry. I was going for your ass.
I'm really glad you guys invited me to play this game today.
So yeah, man, that was not the game to open with. But then they went into that next game. A brand new IP. I have been saying for the longest time, Nintendo, hey, you got great IPs out there, but if Splatoon proved anything, you need to expand. You need to get new IPs in here. And they introduced a brand new IP. Ladies and gentlemen, the next fighter in your Super Smash Bros. Franchise is Dude with Spring Hands and Spring Pompadour and Ribbon Girl. Oh God. Alright. I know a lot of people out there said that this game looks fun, and heck, I think it looks pretty fun. I think that this actually looks like it could be, you know, enjoyable, but the second game that you open with is another motion controller game. Nintendo, I applaud you for continuing to try and improve your motion controls. Motion controller games are kind of like when in the Star Wars films, they try and create old actors using CGI. It's going to be weird for a while, but if you don't keep working at it, it's never going to get better. So I fully applaud you for continuing to try and improve upon it, and this one might work great, but based on what you told me, and based on what I saw, it looks like this is just going to be a fancy version of Wii Sports Boxing. This does not look like a game that's really going to hold interest past maybe the first day or two that you play it. And also, as I said, I applaud you for continuing to try and improve your motion control games, But that ain't what the Switch is about. That is not what anyone is excited about with the Switch. People are excited for the Switch because it's going to allow them to take these games anywhere that they want to go. It's going to allow them to take their home console games on the go, and it's going to allow them to take their portable console games and slap it right up there on the TV. No one is excited for this thing because it's going to be the Wii again. Because it's going to have new motion controls. In fact, pretty much all gamers are getting tired of motion controls. We're on to different stuff now, man. The motion control days have passed. So you started this thing off with 1-2 switch and arms, a game name that is only memorable in how not memorable it is. I gotta be honest with you, Nintendo, as I said, I am totally in your corner. I want to root for you, but man, these were not the 2 games to start with. These were the games that you put in the middle of all your game announcements when everybody's already hyped up, and then you go, oh, okay, well, yeah, I guess that's a new thing too, cool. And then you go into the next thing that hypes them up. This is not what you start with. Oh man, I gotta be honest with you guys. When it got to this point in the conference, I was dreading this thing. I was so worried. I was like, this is what they began with. This is what they kicked the doors down with. This is what they wanted everyone to start talking about. However, then it went into Splatoon 2. That's what I'm talking about. In that moment, when I saw Splatoon 2 pop up on this thing, I just turned into a proud father watching my kid up there on stage from the audience. I was just turning to everybody else like, that's my boy up there. This is what you need to do. That's what the first announcement should have been. Because listen, do you know how many people kept their Wii U's plugged in just to play Splatoon? Do you know how many people wanted to buy a Wii U just so that they could experience Splatoon, this thing that everyone was talking about? You now have a brand new console, a brand new opportunity for people to jump into your entire world of games. Splatoon 2 needed to be the first thing that you announced because, as I said, there were so many people who saw Splatoon and heard the great reviews of Splatoon and heard how fun it was, and they were like, yeah, but do I really want to buy a Wii U for this? Now a brand new console is coming out and they're wondering if they should buy that. Bam, Splatoon 2 gets announced for this thing. They look at that and go, oh, I can finally experience Splatoon. I can finally see what this was all about. And I was watching the trailer for this thing, and there's like some weird emo squid boy up there. I was like, oh, is there going to be like a deeper story to this thing? Is it not just going to be fun multiplayer the whole time? And yes, I know that there was a story mode for the first one, but it was kind of just go around and shoot squids. And I was looking at this one like, oh man, it was like they were really trying to ramp up everything in this. You saw new weapons, you saw new arenas, this all looks fun. And then from there, you go into the new Mario game, and it's not just a Mario game. I look at this thing and I'm like, oh my god, it's like the next generation of Mario Galaxy. This looks as innovative as Mario Galaxy was, and it starts off with him in New York City. Mamma mia! He can go and see Mamma Mia! I took 5 hours to write that joke. But yes, he's going to be in the Mario World equivalent of New York City, which is called New Donk City. I'm sorry, I've got too many jokes in my head right now. Save those for later. Save those for later. But it's called New Donk City. So, Nintendo, if there is not a point in this game where he has to fight a giant Donkey Kong climbing up the Empire State Building, you failed. But everything else in this game looks great. As I said, watching the worlds, watching the levels, watching how he got through the levels, it was like, wow, this really does remind me of the first time that I got introduced to Super Mario Galaxy. But also, here's the amazing thing about the Mario games. They're so simplistic that just introducing the idea of him being able to throw his hat was enough to make me go, oh, new possibilities. Oh, this is a game changer. But then there comes a moment where he has to get over a big gap, throws his hat, the hat rotates in the air, and he jumps on the hat. Holy cow. I should not be applauding something that small, something that simple, but damn, Nintendo, I don't know if it's just that you were able to get my hype levels to a sufficient amount through this trailer, or if it's just the fact that I have come to trust your Mario games, that even a small change like this makes me realize how innovative the gameplay in it can be, but I was impressed. But from there, they started doing what Nintendo needed to be doing from the start, showing off games. The rest of this conference was just, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game. And they kept saying they're making these games for us. And this is one thing that I'm a tad nervous about. Is there like an asterisk on there that says, and also for everybody else, because it's going to be on every other console out there? Or when you say they're making it for us, you mean, and only us? You want to play the new Dragon Age? It's only on the Switch. But then we kept seeing new games. We heard that Skyrim is going to be on here, which it was in the initial trailer, but it still felt really good just to hear it's going to be on here, because Skyrim is that one game that you need to be able to take wherever you go. And they said that the battery life on this thing is going to depend on how powerful the game is, but at minimum it will be able to last 2.5 hours. It takes me about an hour to ride the train to work every single day. I could play 2 hours of Skyrim on that train. That sounds like the perfect place to play Skyrim. And if you guys have watched this channel long enough, then you know that I am a big fan of Atlas. I'm a big fan of their Shin Megami Tensei franchise. I am a huge fan of Persona, so I'm kind of really hoping that Persona 5 is also going to get announced for the Switch, because I'll buy it on multiple consoles. But they came in, and all I needed to do was just see the Atlas logo up there, and I was just like, everybody shut up! Everybody shut up! I need to watch this! And yeah, it didn't give us any new information. It just showed us all the demons that we've come to know from the Shin Megami Tensei series. But again, it's a new Shin Megami Tensei game. It's going to be coming out on the Switch. Again, Nintendo, it would be really nice if you could just come in there and go, and it's only for us, just to make that clear. You want this, you've got to buy the Switch. And then we get a new Fire Emblem game. I am in love with the Fire Emblem franchise at the moment. I cannot wait to see a new Fire Emblem game up there on the Switch and then be able to take it on the go. Again, that's kind of what the Switch is supposed to do, because I love my portable Fire Emblem games, but I would love to see what a home console Fire Emblem game would be like. Now I get to have both. Same thing goes for Project Octopath Traveler. I looked at the graphics on that game when they first started showing off the little sprites. I was like, those are kind of simple graphics for a home console. Then I realized, oh yeah, I'm going to be playing this mostly as a portable console, so those actually look okay as a portable console graphics. But then they started zooming in and showing how detailed the graphics could get, and zooming the camera around to show exactly what you could do with the graphics, and I was like, oh, that actually would look good up on my big TV on my home console. So this actually looks like a great game to be able to play both at home and on the go. And then we kept getting more games. They announced Xenoblade, whatever it was. I haven't really played the Xenoblade franchise, my apologies. And then they announced a new sports game. I don't care about sports games at all, so that didn't really matter to me. But then it led up to the big finale, in which they talked about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And listen, part of me is mad because the big announcement at the end was it's going to be a launch title for this. And I was like, yeah, you guys already said that. You might have forgotten it, but you said it would be a launch title for the Switch, so that doesn't affect me at all. I mean, we all pretty much knew it would be, right? Yeah, okay. However, they then showed us the trailer for it. That is how you do a Legend of Zelda trailer. That's not just how you do a Legend of Zelda trailer for the new Legend of Zelda game. That's how you do the Legend of Zelda movie trailer. If they came out at the end and said, yeah, we were teasing you the whole time, this ain't a game, this is actually a movie, coming to theaters, March 3rd, would you not have just gone and bought your ticket after seeing this trailer? Oh my gosh, the voice acting was amazing in that. It just blew me away. Again, kind of saying a lot about Nintendo, that just a small thing like adding voice acting is enough to just blow my mind. But just seeing all the characters, the music is stunning, seeing this giant vast world, and Zelda. Seeing Zelda. Listen, I, on some level, have actually really enjoyed that over the past couple Legend of Zelda games, they haven't had any romance in there. It's just been Zelda and Link, and it's like, yeah, man and woman can fight side by side, and there can be no platonic, no like love there at all. It can just be a platonic friendship. That's actually a pretty important message. I think it's pretty cool that Nintendo has been doing that. But at the same time, this was like one of the earliest relationships and love stories that we ever got in a video game. And when I watched this trailer, and it was very heavily hinted at, no, we're bringing the love story back between these two characters, I was like, oh god, it felt good. Oh, I forgot how good that feels. I forgot how good it was to just go, oh yeah, Zelda and Link being a couple, being together, being in love. Oh, I can't wait to see this relationship bloom and develop. And this, listen, Link is still not going to talk. He's still going to be the voiceless protagonist. But just in that moment when you see him interacting with Zelda, I was like, this is the most personality that we have gotten for a Link in a Legend of Zelda game, outside of maybe the Link in Wind Waker, who was the Link who just didn't give a fudge. But aside from that, just seeing the way that he's there for her, but also just seeing the way that he is picking himself back up there at the end when he has clearly been beaten down, I was like, oh yeah, I'm cheering this Link on. This Link has a personality to me, just from this trailer. Again, when I actually play the game, he could, again, just kind of be the faceless Link who's just there like, alright, I'm just gonna go out there and just yell, yeah, when I go and chop stuff. That could be the only thing that we get to Link in the actual game, but this trailer actually did make me go, there is a story to this Link. This Link has a personality to him. So yes, I'm kind of upset that they went out on that simply because, yeah man, we've already seen this game. We already knew when it was coming out. But gosh darn, that trailer was good. That was such a darn good trailer. As I said, I need my Legend of Zelda movie right now. Nintendo, get off this freaking high horse of yours in which you think all video game movies are going to be terrible. Hand the Legend of Zelda movie rights over to Disney, show them that trailer, and go turn that into a movie. I want this now. But there is one other negative I need to bring up before I end this, which is that I was hyped after that trailer. I was excited. I was ready to go out and pre-order my Switch right now, and I am still probably going to end up doing that. But it didn't hit me until a couple hours after that. Wait a second. Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch. That's it for the launch titles, isn't it? Listen, every single other game in there that I got excited about, they all said, well, it's in development. We're working on it now. It's coming out in the fall. It's coming out later. It's coming out around the holidays. It's like, what exactly is going to be on this console? Like, that, as I said, has been the biggest problem with Nintendo over the past two consoles, is that they just didn't have games for their systems. And now you finally have a console where the third parties no longer have to sit there and try and figure out how to warp their game to match your weird new controllers, or have it match your weird new gimmick like a screen in the middle of it, or having motion controls. You can have them just port your game directly from there onto your console. Where are they? Listen, you could have 20 new games come out for the holiday release later at the end of this year. That's going to be a long time for me to just play Breath of the Wild. Man, I need way more to be announced. And like I said, Nintendo is great at hiding stuff until the last second. So I'm really hoping that they have a bunch of new games that they are going to announce over the next month and a half. But I'm nervous. I gotta admit, because if your console does not do well right out of the gate, that can keep it from picking up steam. That can keep it from kind of rising to the heights that it should be at. That can keep it from getting everybody out there who wasn't hyped from this trailer from ever picking it up to begin with. So I need you to announce way more at the release. However, even if there aren't a lot of launch titles for this, I am still going to buy this console because it does look like the games that are announced for it are going to be pretty darn fun, and I am a diehard Nintendo fan, and because No More Heroes is coming back. Yeah, that's what you should have saved for the end of this conference. That's what you should have saved for the very end. Just come out and go, oh, by the way, Travis Touchdown is coming back, baby. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think I actually heard that when they said it. I had to do a double take on it. I felt kind of bad for the translator, though, I do have to say that, but in all fairness, you can't translate Suda51. He's a walking chaos engine. But okay, those are my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch conference. Let me know what you thought about them in the comments down below. There's going to be a lot more news coming out about the Switch in the next month and a half, so I'm going to make a lot more videos talking about that. And if you want to see any of the other videos that I do on this channel that have to do with everything from the world of geekery, whether it be video games, movies, or comics, then make sure you click that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Come back next time. Bye.